Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. 3 ways EFT or tapping helps you to manifest. I don't think, personally, and this is just my personal viewpoint, I don't think that you can manifest unless you use something like EFT to help you. And I'm going to go the 3 main reasons why that is. The first reason is that EFT or tapping, so EFT is emotional freedom techniques, tapping is a nickname for it. It's an evidence-based technique that has been shown to rapidly reduce your stress response. So it takes your emotion up here, and it goes whoo, and brings it right down. And the reason this is so important is because when you are in the stress response, when you are anxious, when you are panicky, when you're stressed, when you're worrying about money or how you look or what you don't have or whatever it is, when you are in that stress response, you can't think logically. Your very creative, logical, rational, intelligent prefrontal cortex goes offline. This is the CEO of your brain, and it gets taken offline, which means you lose focus. And if you've ever been in a massive stress response before about anything, you'll know that kind of spiraling down feeling where everything just seems to get worse and worse and worse, and you end up paralyzing yourself. So in the background. So what EFT does is it gets you out of that stress response fast. And by getting you out of that stress response fast, it brings your CEO back online so that you can start to rationalize, so that you can think your way through stuff, so you can start to apply logic to what's happening, which enables you to then take action. It enables you to regain focus. It enables you to see the bigger picture. It enables you to see that this is just a moment in time. This is just a blip. It's a moment in time where you're going, ah! And actually it's not the normal state of being. And the reason that's so important when it comes to manifesting is because stress, worry, fear, anxiety, all the good stuff, very low vibration, drags you down. If you imagine yourself, your energy as a cork, it's supposed to be bobbing along the surface of the water, surface of the ocean. All the stress and fear and anxiety drags it down. It takes a lot of energy to drag that cork down and hold it under because it's naturally buoyant. Tapping allows you to just let go of that cork and up to the surface again. So it raises your vibration, and anyone who knows anything about manifestation knows that your vibration needs to be in a high frequency. It needs to be in gratitude, in love, and excitement. It needs to be up there, not down here. So that's one of the first reasons. The second reason that EFT is so important for manifesting is because one of the reasons why we procrastinate on taking action that will enable us to manifest the thing that we want is because we have some form of block or limiting belief around the thing that we want, or what we think that's going to give us, how it's going to change our lives. And so we procrastinate. We put off taking the action that we know we should be taking. And then I hear a lot of stuff, I don't know why, I just can't do it. Well, this is why. This is why, because you've got some kind of belief or block in your unconscious that is sabotaging your efforts. This is also one of the main reasons why relying on something like positive affirmations doesn't work. Because the likelihood is when you're stating the positive affirmation, there's a little voice in your head going, yeah, but. Yeah, but. So if you state a positive affirmation like, I'm a millionaire, there's a little voice in the back of your head going, yeah, but you're overdrawn. Yeah, but you're not, are you? Yeah, but you can't do that. Only special people do that. And so what you end up doing is you think you're affirming the positive, but because you've got this inner voice going on, you're actually ending up affirming that. And then people wonder why positive affirmations don't work. Positive affirmations do work. Every affirmation works. Just that you unconsciously are affirming the thing that you don't want. So you get more of that. So by using EFT to find and release the limiting beliefs and the blocks that are fueling this inner voice, it enables you to do the positive affirmations, clear the shit that's holding you back, and take the action. It moves you through procrastination. The third reason EFT helps you manifest is, and I want you to unhinge your brain slightly for this, there are two sides to every coin. There is a yin, there is a yang. There is masculine, there is feminine. There is good, there is bad. There is happy, there is sad. Ooh, there's a song in there somewhere. And we're very good at being all over and accepting of the stuff that we like the feeling of. We're very good at labeling things good and bad, positive, negative. And we're very good at making the bad mean something about us. Now, the reason this is so important in something like manifesting and is so often overlooked is that there are these two sides. You're not broken. So there's not this, if I can just fix myself, I'll be able to manifest X, Y, Z. Because you're not actually broken. There are two sides to you. Call them light and dark. We often talk about shadow self, so let's call them light and dark. It's really just your conscious and your unconscious. And until you are able to find an acceptance of the shadow, you're going to feel not whole. And if you're feeling not whole, again, where do you think your vibrational frequency is? If you're telling yourself something needs to be fixed before you can do X, Y, Z, you're reaffirming to yourself that something is wrong, and it's not. You are a whole, but to be a whole, you need both sides. And the way that we work, the way humans work, is that if we consciously desire something, then the flip side of that is we must also have a curiosity and a kind of perverse desire for the opposite of that. There's got to be that, because there's two sides. But that flip side, that shadow desire, is viewed as taboo. We shouldn't have it. We shouldn't enjoy that feeling. We shouldn't have a secret taboo desire to be cared for and looked after. We should be independent and making our own way in the world and creating lots of money. So let's talk about let's say there's this chap called Alex, young lad in his early 20s, and he has a unconscious desire to be cared for and looked after. Maybe he didn't get that when he was little, I don't know, but he has this unconscious desire. But for a young man, that is not a socially acceptable desire. He should be, autonomous. He should be independent. He should be going out and having fun. He should be confident. He should have a cool job at his own place. And, he should be looking after himself. And so consciously, Alex sets this desire for that, for the independence and the job and blah, blah. And he gets a really funky, cool job. And he gets his own flat. But underneath all of that is this subconscious drive to be looked after, cared for. And so he ends up self-sabotaging very unconsciously. And if you said to him, look, Alex, you've got this unconscious desire, he'd probably deny it. You're like, no, I haven't. Are you fucking crazy? But it's there. It's got to be there because it's the other side. And so he sabotaged himself and he loses his job. He can't pay his rent, so he loses his flat and he ends up back at his mum and dad's house. Now, to his conscious brain, this is a huge frigging disaster. How shameful, how embarrassing. This is just the worst thing in the world. Oh, and he feels down, he feels bad, and oh my God, I'm such a loser. But to his unconscious, this is a huge, huge victory. Woo! The desire was to be cared for and looked after, and now he's back at his mum and dad's being looked after. Someone else is paying the rent, someone else is cooking the food, someone else is washing the... Actually, that sounds really good. But to his unconscious mind, that is a huge frigging victory. And until Alex can see that and come to an acceptance of that and be able to let go of the shame around that, because there is no shame around this. There is no shame around this. We all have these unconscious desires. There's no shame to it. And yet we feel we should be ashamed because they're not socially acceptable. They're not what we should be going for. But it's like the old adage, what you resist persists. And whilst you've got this unconscious shadow self-desire lurking in the shadows, unless you bring that out into the light and have a good old look at it and go, actually, do you know what? I totally accept you. I totally accept you. You're allowed to be there. And in fact, congratulations. You know, well done. Because there's something about what you want I do really enjoy, but I push it down because it's taboo and I shouldn't, perverse and a bit kinky, and I shouldn't really like it. Until we do that, it's always going to be there. It's going to be festering away in the background. And the reason it's so friggin' important to bring it out into the light and to allow ourselves to accept it is because your unconscious is a gazillion times more powerful than your conscious. Your conscious mind controls, I think it's around 5% of what happens. Your unconscious is the driver. It has the 95% majority shareholding. So one of the key things that EFT does is it allows you to discover what these unconscious desires are so that you can bring them into the light, so you can take a look at them, so you can accept them, so you can acknowledge that they're there, so that you can honor yourself for having them, so that you can recognize that by having this, both the unconscious and the conscious, actually both those things make you whole. You are not frigging broken because you have both of these sides. If you only had one side, then you'd be broken. If you only had the good, then you'd be broken. You need both sides to be whole. And fulfillment comes when you are able to accept that. And by acceptance, I don't mean, I just give up and stop trying. No. Acceptance comes when you accept yourself in your entirety, in your beautiful, wonderful fucking wholeness, for the fucking amazing person you are. But so often we tell ourselves we're broken because there is this unconscious thing that we think is wrong and bad and we shouldn't have it, and we're failing because we're not hitting our conscious goal. And that creates stress and tension, and it stops us in our tracks. Think of it in terms of butterflies have this fucking down. When a caterpillar pupates, or whatever you call it, chrysalyzes, I don't know, I'm not David Attenborough, you know what I mean, when it gets into a chrysalis, it dissolves its old form into a a caterpillary goo. And then it rebuilds that. It coagulates all those dissolved down, cleaned pieces into a brand new form, the butterfly. And this is a basic alchemical formula. I hope I said alchemical right, so I can never quite get my head around that. It's a basic formula. First, you have to dissolve the current thing, and then you have to coagulate the new stuff from that, the clean stuff from that, to get the transformation, to get the new result. And unfortunately, most of the time, people only concentrate on the coagulating. They only stuff like positive affirmations, manifesting, positive thinking, blah blah blah. It's all the visualizing, vision boards, all the fun stuff. Actually, all the fun stuff. But they don't dissolve first, because the dissolving, not always fun. It takes a bit of work. There's a few tears sometimes. Maybe we feel a bit shit. Maybe we struggle with it. But until we do that, until we bring that shadow self into the light, until we accept it, until we dissolve our resistance to it, we're always going to struggle to coagulate and transform into the new reality that we want to manifest. I feel like that's a little bit heavy for this time in the morning. Apologies. But it's super fucking important. And this is why so many people say our manifestation doesn't work. Yes, because you've only done half of it. You've conveniently neglected to do the shitty bit at the beginning. It's cold. Most of the time, because people aren't even aware that has to be done. And EFT is fucking phenomenal at helping you to do that. Because when you do that, you go into a stress response. What does EFT do? It brings your stress response down. It brings up all your limiting beliefs and blocks. What does EFT do? It reframes, it dissolves the limiting beliefs and blocks. So, to recap, 3 ways EFT helps you manifest. 1, it brings down your stress response fucking fast and really effectively. 2, it clears your limiting beliefs and blocks so that you can get rid of procrastination and take the action. 3, it allows you to find and accept your shadow self so that you can dissolve your resistance to the flip side of what it is that you want. Embrace both sides, embrace your wholeness, feel fulfilled, and from that place you can bounce into the cool manifesting techniques and fucking manifest. I'm going to leave that with you. Any questions, drop them in the comments or send me a DM. And just have a think. I'd be really interested to know what you think. Have a think about what it is you want consciously. So for instance, if you want abundance, if you have a conscious desire, a conscious goal to create more money, but now you're aware that there's a flip side, there's 2 sides to the coin. If you're wanting that, what's the flip side? What are you not allowing yourself to desire as a result? So to my mind, the flip side of abundance and prosperity is scarcity and lack. So if I am not experiencing the abundance I want in my life, it's because my unconscious is actually desiring the feeling that scarcity and lack gives me. Or there's a feeling that maybe when I'm in scarcity and lack, other people rush in and help me, and I feel looked after, protected. And there's a part of me that really fucking loves that. Suddenly I feel really loved and important because everyone's rushing to me to help me. I'm significant. I'm cared for. Or maybe it's the stress and anxiety of lack and scarcity that part of me really gets off on, my shadow self really gets off on, because it's exciting. because it's the same fucking emotion, just approached in a different direction. And I really am, you know, I love things to be exciting, and you know, it drives me. And actually, as part of my shadow self actually really gets off on that feeling, and so it actively goes for scarcity and lack to give me that feeling. It's just that in my head, I'm making that feeling mean something about me because I'm failing and not successful, whatever, and that brings it spiraling down. But if I was to take that meaning away from it and just experience the feeling, actually, that's really fucking exciting. And maybe I'm allowed to do that. Oh, so I'm going to leave that with you. So let me know in comments what is it that you consciously want, and what might be the flip side to that. I want you to start thinking about it. Hope that was helpful. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Doodles!